Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about the newest palette by GLOSSGODS, which is Let's Get Nude, and see if we can do a little bit of a colorful look and if this palette is like boring or if it is exciting. As per usual, I do have two tutorials after the review part, so if you want to see which looks I've created, one of them is this one, then just keep on watching, because again, I will link down in the info box at which time points or timestamps there will be the tutorial part. So if you have this palette already, you love this palette already, you would just want to have a little bit of fun, then look in the info box, because there are the tutorial parts. Okay, let's talk about this. We will talk about the Let's Get Nude palette by GLOSSGODS. If you don't know, I do have a few more of the GLOSSGODS palettes. All of them are so far shimmer palettes, or all shimmer palettes. I feel like in one of them there was like a matte black, but we have to deal with that. But normally I don't pick up the ones that are mixed, like mattes and shimmers. And this one is indeed a matte and shimmer palette. We do have 5 matte tones, and then we do have 7 shimmers. So we have 12 pans in total. And as you can tell, this is not your typical nude palette, at least not in my opinion. Just saying. I feel like this has a great mix, first of all, of mattes, because we do have a really light shade, this one. This one is borderline too deep as an inner corner for me. I do love it a little bit brighter, but if you are as pale as me, it's still working as an inner corner highlight. And then we do have like the deepest shade, which I've used today as well, is this shade here, which I feel has a good depth. Just saying. We do have 3 medium shades, this one, and this one. And as you can tell, they are in the same family. I would say they are a little bit more warm tone brown, but they are not too warm, also not too cool toned. And I feel from the 3 like mattes that are still left, these are also different enough. Because sometimes you do have like shades that are almost the same and they don't look different on your eyes. I feel like for these 3 shades, this one, and this one, this is definitely the case. All of the matte shades are different enough to like show up different on your eye. And I feel like that is a big thing, especially if you have like one palette with 12 pans. Listen, if they look all the same, you don't need a palette with 12 pans, you know what I mean? But in this case, it works fine. We do have like 7 shimmer shades. As you maybe know, GLOSSGODS, at least the shimmer palettes I know from them, again, I do have 4 or 5 of them, they have different textures, and this one is no exception. We do have, for example, this one, which is like a shift, like from a brown to a plummy purple, I would say, with some gold flecks. And this one is more of a satin shimmer, if you will, so it's not as bright. I do have that on today as like transition between the 2 shades here, and it works amazingly because it is not as shimmery as others. We do have a more flaky multichrome, which is this one. It's Golden Hour, which I do have in my inner corner as well as on the lid. We do have, as you can tell, like more sparkling ones, which this one is a little bit more sparkly shimmer. And we do have like a duochrome as well. This one is gold to, as you can see, like a coppery shade. Again, have that on my eyelids today. You know, and like a regular shimmer, and this one is also really pretty. Like I feel we do have a good variety in textures as well as finishes, as well as like colors. You know, even these 2 shades are not the same when I swatch these, and this one is like look at this. You can see the difference in like shine. By the way, let me swatch this one and this one as well. You can see what I mean with a satin shimmer. This one is not as like bright as this one, and this one is a little bit more flaky. But you can definitely tell all of these shades, like listen, they're so gorgeous. And by the way, this one is reminding me a lot of the Kaleidos one. I will try to swatch that in a sec to see like if they are like, it's one of my favorite like shimmers, to be honest, because it's more glittery, shimmery, if you will. They are smooth. Like look at this. these are damn smooth. Like, look at this. Like this one is still giving. I'm telling you. This could look so damn pretty. Are these like close in color? Yes, they are. Listen, it's a neutral palette, but I feel like you have good variety as well in shades that are just not just your typical brown. I have to say, I've worked with them in 2 different ways. I've tried to use a medium shade and then build on this with a deeper shade, and it worked amazingly. They blended amazingly. I did not have any problems with that. Today I worked the exact other way around. I started with the deepest shade and then go into this one, which is like one of the lightest, and it worked amazingly as well. Again, for the shimmer shades, I feel like you have an amazing variety on shades. By the way, this one, let me swatch the one I'm having on. Like, look at this. Again, this one is the one I'm having on my lid here, the gold. This one is the same color. Like, you can see here, if I bend it like this, it's a gold to a coppery shade. It's this one here. And again, it has a duochrome shift. This one is a multi-chrome. I feel like you do have an amazing variety in shades for the palette, and I absolutely love this. I love it. It's like a neutral palette that is not boring neutral. It is, if you are like, listen, I had questions about this. Now is the time and point in, I am telling you this. If you are a neutral lover that does love a little bit of color, a little bit of variety, and not love like the neutral brownie shades you get in every single eyeshadow palette that is brown, this one is your palette. This one has some purples. This one has, again, this one is more of a plumby purple. This one is a purpley shade. This one is a goldy shade. Again, with a shift to gold. And this is bright gold. Again, you can see it here in my on my lid. And this one is gorgeous as well. What I love, it would be a little bit lighter, maybe. But again, I'm pale AF, so this is, by the way, this shade here. You can see it has like a shift from white to gold, like bright white. This is bright gold. I absolutely love this palette. Let's see if it compares to the Kaleidos one. Okay, before we do the comparison, just want to tell you it's the same sizing as all my other palettes by GLOSSGODS, which I love. Listen, I'm that bitch that has the OCD that wants to have like the same format for all my palettes by GLOSSGODS, and it's the same. By the way, these are like the Girl on Mars, Dancing in the Sky, Look for Rainbows, Color of the Rain, and Girl on the Moon. I will link all of the videos for all of these palettes because I do have 5 and I have videos for all of them, just so you know. Listen, one of my favorite palettes for bridals, I did bridal makeup with this palette for like people I like, is this one by Kaleidos, and I feel like this is Cold Brew if I'm not mistaken. No names here. And this shade here in particular, like, is the shade that everyone loves. I'm telling you, everyone. Let's compare these. And I feel like if you see both of them side, you see that this one by Kaleidos is indeed cool, more cool toned than this one, which again was not expecting something different. And then the shade I am like loving the most, like, look at this. By the way, it's this one here, and we do have this one here. You can see it's not the same color, but it's bright. Let me... Oh, okay, see this one? This is the Kaleidos one. And you can see it has a base color, but it also has some glitters. So this one is way more opaque, just so you know. This one, again, is the color I normally gravitate towards. Like, listen, need to get it, like, lost all my... Just so you know, if you have the Kaleidos, they are different enough. I feel like that is like a point where I'm like, listen, we can do. But also it's not even close to Huda Beauty. Huda Beauty has just the normal, boring neutrals, just saying. But just so you know, if you have the Kaleidos and you're asking like, is the shimmer like similar-ish? No, it's not. This one has a base color, but as you can see, it's more glitter than it is like really color, if you will. It's definitely a little bit more ethereal, if you will. And this one is the shade I'm referring to, like Beautiful, by the way, as this shade. But again, still, wow, that stuff is potent, guys. It is potent. But yes, I feel like I've talked to you and told you that you should buy this if you love it. And listen, I love it, you love it. we can love it together. I feel like this is an amazing all-day palette, like for your typical palette where you can do something boring, if you will, and something more like laid-back, something like, by the way, this shade here, if you're pale as me, that's a perfect shade for all over matte, just saying. But I feel like this palette in particular is amazing for people that wants to have like their everyday safe option because it's neutral, but add in maybe a little bit of purpley shade or a little bit of like a goldy shift, because both of these are like color stories are in here. I feel like this is amazing. You can again go with the safe option, which is this one. I mean, technically these two are also like safe options, if you will, like because they're browns, still browns, but again you can go with a little bit of color. And in my looks and in the tutorial part, which will start now, there are more of the colorful look. So if you want to see how I use this and add a little bit more color and not just the neutrals in here, then just keep on watching. Let's do this. I am so excited to play a little with the Let's Get Nude palette, and yeah, let's start. I feel like we do have a good variety. We do have 5 matte shades, so we will take them to use. Let's start with the mattes. I will go with Undress, which is this shade here, and I will try to do this in my crease. I have my Morphe and Jacqueline JH33. I think it's a common brush. Just use whatever you like, have, and do. I just put a little bit on my fluffy brush. We'll just put that in the crease, and we can blend this a little bit as well. Just seeing if, normally I would start with the deepest color, but in this case I want to see how they build on each other. So that shade, by the way, is gorgeous. Like, look at this. We'll put that in a second on my lower lash line as well. But so far, really, really nicely. By the way, of course, I do have an eye primer down. This color alone, 100% a win for me. I feel like this is even all over the lid would be so damn pretty. I wanted to use the Sunburn shade, which is not the deepest. This one is, but I will try to use it in my second look. And I will use my Cinch Beauty EO5, and I will just pick that up. This one will be our like darkest shade for this look in particular. So we will just like put that on top. And for me, because I do have smaller eyes, I will like go a little bit further out my lid. Well, this one blends really nicely. Don't have any problems so far with blending or building up the color. I mean, so far it's just one, to be honest. That is number 2. And you could of course go deeper or lighter. We do have options for that as well, but so far, like, look at this, so pretty. And again, we do have other shades which we will use in probably the second look, because listen, I will also use a little bit of that color underneath. Just small gray thing that, like, listen, I love that. By the way, as you can tell, they do have a lot of kickback. They're a little bit softer pressed, so just keep that in mind. For me, that is not a deal breaker because I don't, like, I tap my brush normally beforehand, so it's not a big problem, but just so you know. So far, absolutely loving these, and I feel like both of these color like accentuate my blue-green eyes. I used the deeper shade and will just like sideline a little bit. I normally do that because I feel like that is helping with mascara and lashes later. I'm not doing a wing. You could if you like, but that worked fine as well. Now let's come to the fun part. I mean, that is a neutral palette. That's how it should be. Let's try to play a little bit and hope that we have now some fun with the shimmer shades, which are a little bit more exciting. I had to swatch off the like some of the shades. I mean, listen, this one is screaming my name, but this one is also so much fun. Like, these two are gorgeous as well. Like, listen, that will be a problem, but we will get to that. I decided on Not So Nude, which is this shade here. This is, well, it's red. It also has green and gold sparkle, and we do have also some purple in here. And I just put that on my ear one by Singe Beauty, and I did spray that because it like prevents a little bit of fallout, I'm hoping at least. And we will just bring that here to like the side. I feel like this is maybe not the deepest we should have used, but to be honest, I do want to play with the other one, which I'm pretty sure is a multi-chrome. And I mean, look at this. Isn't that cute? I love that. We maybe have to like add in some deeper shades here as well, but to be honest, I don't need to. I did clean up my brush. We used the same E1. This one is Golden Hour, which seemed to be the multi-chrome. Like it's this shade here, as you can tell. We will put that like all over the rest of the lid because listen, again, I did spray that. Oh God, yes. That is so pretty. Like, look at this. I mean, now for this shade. It is so pretty. The only thing I have to say, I'm thinking I have to put that in my lower, like in my inner corner as well, because this is the lightest shade. This one is, I feel like a little bit too deep for my, maybe not. Let's try this in the inner corner as well, because listen, why not? Maybe it works, maybe it's not. If not, we will put Golden Hour in there as well. Okay, let's try Bare Doll in the inner corner. I am thinking this one will be probably a little bit too deep for that purpose, but let's be surprised. It's not too deep. It's not as brightening as it could be, but again, I am pale AF, have that in mind. Like, look at this. It's not bad. It's totally not bad. Like, look at this. It definitely gives a little bit of brightening if you like look to both eyes. Is it the most brightening shade ever? No. But I mean, it's working. Like, look at this. Okay, that is not bad at all. Again, do I wish it would be a little bit lighter? Yes, but I'm pale AF. So, but it works. And of course you can use that shade alone to blend like edges if you are a little bit heavy-handed like I sometimes. You know what I mean? That is looking so damn cute. And like, look at this. I am, oh my God, like listen, that shade, like Golden Hour, if you like saw that in person, it's gold, it's like fiery, it's like orange, red, it's so damn pretty. Definitely has like a hint of purple as well. Oh my God, it's so damn gorgeous. I love that. Let me finish that up and I'll be right back. This is the finished look. Of course, Kiss Lashes. These ones are Empress. And then we do have my liner, which is orange because I thought that would fit good to the multi-chrome. This one is by Revolution and the shade is orange, just so you know. And they're a little bit softer, so I broke that off because why not? And then I also played a little bit with the darker lip. I felt like this would work great together. This is by Joy C, and this is in 836. This is on the matte, like lippy. Absolutely love it. So let's go to the second look because I feel like this will be great as well. Look number 2, here we come. And to be honest, I wanted to do a smoky eye, but then I swatched this shade here. And as you can tell, it's like, see, it seemed to be a brown, but it's also gold. I'm not sure how good here you can see it. See this? Do want to use that too, and I was like, listen, we can use this one and then we can use this one and we can have a little bit of fun. So we're doing a halo eye, so let's do this. We're starting with the deepest shade, which is Bare to There, and this one is the 13 Mini by Refer, and we will just map out where we want to like have the depth of our halo eye. If you're comfortable with that, use the middle shade first. I can't for the life of me like map out my eye when I start with the medium shade. So I'll start with the deeper shade and then go through the medium shade. But again, if you are comfortable with using the medium shade first, do it. If you're as me and you're just too, I won't say too stupid to do that, but listen, I do my makeup for years and I'm still not like, I still can't do it. So just use the deeper shade. By the way, the deeper shade looks amazing. I will go in a little bit again. Just map out where you want to have the depth. And yes, we do have it in the inner corner as well as in the outer corner. It's an 8 eye. This should be the step. I also put the deeper shade on the lower lash line. You could use or mirror the halo there as well. I did it in the last look, so I was like, listen, we will not do it in this. And because we used like both of these shades last time, I will use this one, which is Birthday Suit, and we will blend this color and see how far we come with it. You can tell like a ton. But I will just blend this, by the way, on the outer edge. And you can see I overlap a little bit of the depth with the shade. You can see that in this, it's getting a little bit lighter, which we want because, again, we want to blend that stuff and not look like, I don't even know. And we will also do that. Oh, I think you can definitely tell more in the inner parts. That the color is like, look at this. This is looking so cute. So far, it layered well, it blended well. And again, should have done like a deeper color to blend that better, but we can go in there a second later. I feel like this is one of those colors that is just a smidge deeper than my actual skin color. So it's a little bit, I won't say it's worse to blend, but I feel like you can see with both eyes that this one looks way more blended than this one, which is what we want. Again, you could use one of the other shades, which probably would have used Undressed, or like this one, which is Sunburned, would work like probably the same or even better for this step. I also deepened like the deeper brown a little bit, so everything looks blended and nice, and now we have fun. We use with Nude on Ever, which is again the deep shade. This one seemed like a plummy brown with some gold reflex, and I did put that on a Singe Ear 1, and this one I sprayed as well because I don't want to have the fallout. We will use this as a transition from our matte to our other shimmer. So we will put this a little bit inside the like eye. Still, it's not on the matte, but it's like a little bit on the matte. Like, look at this. This is so cute. I feel like this one is not as this one is not as potent in shimmers than other shades, which is amazing because we now can like have a good transition between like the matte deep brown and the one we will have in. I would say it's a matte aesthetic, is a little bit of a satin shade, if you will. It is really pretty, and I feel like if you have like an smoky eye with the deep shade and then put that on the lid, this would be so pretty. And now for the lid inner part, we will use Sunkissed Me. Again, I sprayed that a little bit just, and we will put that in the center of this look, and then we will just like fade it out a little bit. Like, look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? And I feel like, especially because we used the Nude or Nothing shade, this has like a little bit of a purple shift. It is still like a smoky-esque eye, but it has something to it. Like, it's not just a brown. And this one again has reflects of gold, red. This is so pretty. I love it. And because for the last look we used a matte inner corner, we of course will use the multichrome as an inner corner highlight for this one. I put that on one of the YesStyle brushes, and we'll just like place that. Listen, I always forgot how potent that stuff is. Let's like spread it a little bit. But it works really well, to be honest, because we do have like the shimmer of gold. Maybe I can put a little bit just a little bit. Like, listen, this is gorgeous. And we will just use the tiniest bit of same shade. Again, this is the multi-chrome. It's Golden Hour as per Yes. And we will just like put that directly in the middle, just to give it a little bit more. It's a yes. This is the finished look. I did apply some liner. This is by Catrice. It's Burgundy Babe. I feel like it was autumn winter, but I absolutely love the color. I feel like this like color goes well with the look. And then of course Empress by Kiss. I feel like these will be in my favorites at the end of the year, even though we're just in May. Just saying. But I absolutely love the look. I love that this color, like the what is it, Golden Hour one, is like as bright. As you can tell, it's definitely a little bit more crumbly, but I love it with this look, and I hope I showed you some more colorful option that you can do with the Let's Get Nude palette, because I feel like it worked. Like, this is more of a purpley brown look with gold. Like, love it. Absolutely love it. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you do want to have a little bit more fun with indie brands, with colorful makeup, with all the things that are drugstore, then subscribe to this channel. It's absolutely for free, and I upload 3 times a week. And I wish you a beautiful week, and we see us in my next video. So bye guys.